Hey guys, welcome to the Angeles Forest. This is a unique opportunity to drive an interesting vehicle. This is the 2015 Roush RS3 Mustang, and RS3 stands for Roush Stage 3. This car is actually owned by professional drifter Justin Pollock, and I know that because his Audi service bill is in the glove box. This car features a supercharged, as they call it, Roush charged, Coyote 5-liter engine, making 670 horsepower. Has a standard 6-speed manual gearbox. This particular car has a 355 rear end. And Roush does some other tweaks as well. They do some upgraded brakes. They do adjustable coilover suspension. And they do a couple little body mods. There's a different trunk lid. There's a bit of a treatment on the hood. There are some new seats. This one has a roll bar in it, but I think that's to Justin's personal spec because I didn't see that anywhere on the build sheet. As well as some gauges in the dash for boost and oil pressure, and some 20-inch wheels, 275 square stance, and of course, being Justin's car, it has Falcon tires. So let's go for a little drive. I've recently tested the Shelby GT350R, and I have driven also a beautifully home-tuned Mustang that was just really well sorted. So let's see what Roush can do out of the factory. Before we even drive anywhere, you might notice I'm sitting in this car slightly awkwardly, and that's because I don't know what they've actually done with this seat, but I'm all of a sudden much higher than I would be in a normal Mustang. And it's not just me. I know it's off, and I know it's off because I physically cannot adjust the center mirror to see out of it. It's looking at the back seat. It doesn't go up any higher. So I know I'm sitting up too high in the car, and it already feels kind of weird. Anyway, we'll learn about the rest of it on the road. We'll go into Sport Plus. Sport steering. Active exhaust in the back. Quad tip. Loud, but not overpowering. The Shelby is certainly louder. This car uses the standard MT82 gearbox, and I do have to say, after driving the Shelby and the MGW-equipped short shifter car, the standard shifter just stinks. You can't go back to it. It feels sloppy and not confidence-inspiring really at all. On the other hand, power aplenty. This car takes boost really well. I mean, 435 horsepower from the factory is excellent. A few pounds of boost through the TVS 2300 blower, 670 horsepower. The question, of course, with previous Mustangs was, where is the limit of usable power? With the solid axle, it was about 550 crank. Beyond that was just tire smoke. This, with the IRS, the new chassis, is bound to be significantly better. I drove this thing in about an hour and a half traffic jam to get here, and in traffic, crawling around, you'd never know the blower was there. It feels completely stock, completely seamless. I don't even really get any supercharger whine at all. There is a bit of a vibration when I get on throttle, and I also kind of feel a little bit of, slop in the driveline. Now, this car is owned by a professional drifter and has 4,000 miles on it, so who knows what, well, I do know what he's done with it. Probably exactly what you'd expect. Come on, truck. Come on, truck. Let me by. Please. Everything else in here is standard Mustang fare, which means it's nice for the price. Please let me buy. Please let me buy. And he's not going to let me buy. This is how this is going to go today. Okay. Looks like we're going to have to do the old pause unless he turns out right here, which he's not going to. Okay. We'll be back. Oh, wait. Never mind. Shazam. All right. I really wish they put the Shelby steering wheel or something similar in here. Standard steering wheel feels a little cheap. Now, it's fast, but it also feels like I lose more of it in the driveline than with the Shelby. The Shelby is snappier. And this thing, it builds speed well, and then it scrubs it well with the brakes, but it's not quite as hunkered down. Do pretty well. Mustang. The higher red line of the Shelby is certainly missed in instances like that. I just ran out of revs right there. It makes a good sound. It's not exotic sounding like the Shelby. It really just sounds like a GT with a fairly refined exhaust system on it. Doesn't drone though, and that's welcome. Got a bit of that standard Mustang GT where it's riding above the suspension, not hunkered down on it. Either that JRZ car or the Shelby is. I still feel like things are happening underneath me, but I'm not as sure of what and how. Wow, look at that cut. People think I drive like an asshole. This guy in the work truck is cutting. Okay. Will he be smart enough to at least let me by? No, he's just taking an angle for his next apex. Perfect. This is how you drive with your city truck, blind corner. Let's see how much more evidence we can gather. Anyway, a couple of things do bother me about the car. One, obviously the seat height. The rear view mirror becomes useless. Never been a problem in any other Mustang. And then, same problem I had with the last Roush car. I can see the 3M tape holding on the fake hood scoop from the driver's seat. I look right past it every time I get in the car and drive it. And I don't know how someone could spend this much money on a car. Wow, really just taking that other lane, aren't you? I don't know how someone could spend this much money on a car and then and ignore that. It's literally right in front of your face the whole time. Alright, well, if this guy's gonna keep driving like a moron and not let me pass, I have no choice but to stop and pause. Okay. Fine. Be right back. Now, when you're selling a car that is this much power, and you're selling it through dealers, a warranty is important, and hardware to back up the power is important. So you do get upgraded axles, and you do actually get the powertrain warranty, which is good. If you want a big power Mustang, there's no GT500 anymore for now, and you want a warranty with it, this is one of the few places you can look. It does seem the chassis can handle the power, although I feel like some more fine-tuning or maybe better shocks are in order. The JRZs I felt yesterday were just much better than whatever's on this. And the Shelby, the magnetic shocks, you know, that's in its own league. It's interesting, I can feel the difference. So this runs a 275 square. The blue car I recently drove was a 295 square. Shelby is 305 front, 315 rear. And you can really feel it in the steering. In the wider tires, the 295 and 305, so much more happens at the front with less input from the wheel. Here, you definitely have to input more steering on these medium speed corners to get that 295 through the corner. It's just an interesting thing to feel. Now, the trade-off, of course, is that the 305s in the front of the Shelby tram line on the highway. They kind of dart around. It's sort of a two hands on the wheel kind of deal. Whereas this car, you can just cruise gangster lean style and not having to worry about the front end moving around. The trade-off being grip. Grip at the limit. But at least it's a square stance. That's how you get a Mustang to handle properly. Some more tire wouldn't hurt. But it's a good time, this thing. It's got very strong power. But man, after you drive that Shelby, I feel like I'm missing out on revs. And that vibration under power is a little disconcerting, although I'm sure that's abuse related and not from the factory. Brake pedal's staying really firm, even though I'm putting it to work today. Running out of revs right at the right time there. This thing is really good fun, but it's missing the specialness that I get with the GT350R. It's fast and it's capable and it's planted, but I don't really want to take it home. I'm not bonding with it. It's not stirring my soul, so to speak. Oh man, it goes real fast though. It is quick. I'm going to break it. Actually, if Justin hasn't broken it, I'm certainly not going to. So, I don't have pricing right now. I couldn't get pricing. I'll put it up on the screen, and you guys can decide whether or not you think it's a good value. The problem is, of course, that the Shelbys are trading way over. At the dealer I picked this thing up from, there were 3 Shelbys for 25 over, and those weren't even ours. So, you know, if you want a Shelby, it's going to end up being more expensive than this. It's going to have less power, but it does feel more special than this does. So, you know, but it makes the power. And if you want to do something a little different and have a warranted 670 horsepower Mustang, the Roush Stage 3 might be for you. So thanks for watching. Thank you to Roush and Mr. Pollock for allowing me to spend a day with your car. And I'll see you guys next time.